Hello and welcome. More and more today's healthcare professionals are stressing the need for rehabilitation. This is a very important transition from the hospital setting to home care.
Toronto Rehab and University Health Network integrated in 2011. It was a voluntary integration, and it's the first of many organizations that are coming together on their own in order to provide better care for their patients across the entire system. Some of the benefits of integration with an acute care center and a rehabilitation center are that our staff are able to spend much time together, more time than they would have otherwise. They're at the same tables, they're able to compare notes, share ideas, and ultimately provide the optimal care we can for the patients in the entire system of care. So Toronto Rehab is the rehabilitation center within University Health Network, which also consists of Toronto General Hospital, Toronto Western Hospital, and Princess Margaret Hospital. Toronto Rehab consists of 6 different sites. Our center that provides cardiac care, cardiac rehabilitation, is Rumsey, and it is on Rumsey Avenue, just north of by Bayview and Eglinton. Alongside sharing the parking lot is Lyndhurst Center, which provides spinal cord rehabilitation. At the University Center on University Avenue provides the neuro rehab and the geriatric rehab. At the Bickle Center down on Dunn Avenue, that is where we provide complex continuing care, and a low tolerance rehab services provided there as well. Across the parking lot is Lakeside Long-Term Care Center, and we also have Hillcrest Center, which is our musculoskeletal rehabilitation, which we are planning to close in November and bring those patients up here into University Center.
Because we want people to be as functional as possible. Some people move the chairs with their feet, so we want it to be low enough for their height.
One of the most exciting things in our lifetime is that we're experiencing longer life. We're living to ripe old ages. With that, however, are the risks associated with aging, such as illness and injury, chronic illnesses such as diabetes, slips and falls. These are all things that affect all of us and someone we love in our lifetime. And we do know that 1 out of every 2 people are going to be impacted by disability, either personally or they'll be associated with somebody that they love that will have a disability. So Toronto Rehab is here to work to discover new ways of providing care, to discover new technologies that can help people get home and live independently in the ways that they want to. And if they can't live independently, that they can have maximal ability on their own to live either in a long-term care facility or with a family member. And we really strive to provide technologies and techniques to help the caregiver provide the best care without wearing them out as well.
Yeah, I was getting really tight and it was coming up, and then every time I focused on trying to bring it down and relax a bit, it tended to have an effect on my foot. I ended up coming here at February 2nd, after spending 2 weeks in acute care at Toronto Western. That was after my brain surgery. And I ended up, just coming here on the 2nd, and I've been here for about 8 weeks now. I first got here, I wasn't able to do much. I had a hard time sitting in a chair. Wasn't able to really just sit up straight or anything like that. And I had no movement in my left extremities, upper and lower. Had quite the challenge. My rehab involved physiotherapy, some OT, occupational therapy, a bit of fitness, and those are the 3 main components of my rehab. All 3 were vital to this whole process. The whole basketball thing was just a bit of an inside joke between me and my therapist there. I told her I wanted to get back to playing basketball within like 16 to 18 months. I said that was one of my main goals, and so she, threw that in there to just try and, something to look forward to, I guess,
All right.
Nice. I'm still limited in range of motion with my leg and my arm. I don't have full range of motion back, which is definitely something that I'm looking forward to having, is just being 100%, 150%, like I usually say. Like I have on my board here beside me, I always say that they expect nothing but a full recovery, and that's my main goal and something that I stay focused on every day, and I tell myself every day that there's nothing less than a full recovery.
That's okay, right?
Yep.
So if I put this out here,
After tomorrow, I'm going to be discharged and I get to go home. So, which is a bit intimidating, slightly, because I'll no longer have a physiotherapy and OT and all the, access to all these treatments here on a daily basis. However, there's giving me a whole bunch of exercises that I can do on my own and stuff like that, that I'm currently doing with them now as well, but I'll be more independent with it. I'll be continuing coming back here, I guess in a couple of weeks or so as an outpatient to do outpatient therapy. So yeah, I'll still be able to do it, just not quite as often. I think it's only going to be about 2 to 3 times a week as opposed to 5 days a week. So yeah, the road doesn't end here, it still keeps on going. So
keep up the hard work. I know you will.
for sure, thank you.
But don't forget to take a break now and then.
Yeah, I'll try.
What brought me to Toronto Rehab is actually a condition they call deconditioning in medical terms that I learned. Actually, I lost tremendous, like 30 plus pounds of weight. I became severely depressed and anxiety was ceiling high. And I wouldn't eat, or I was unable, I lost my fine motor skills, I couldn't walk. Now all these symptoms that I'm describing now are as a consequence of a chronic disease that I suffer with since about 3.5 years. And it deteriorated to the point when I lost all hope that I would ever be able to get up and leave. I live alone, so it's very difficult. I have to take care of myself.
Most of our patients in the geriatric rehab service are frail elderly patients with multiple medical problems that have been admitted to an acute care facility, often just for an elective procedure. And as often happens in the frail elderly, their ability to recover from their hospitalization or an acute illness is somewhat compromised. They may have had other medical conditions that have been a complication of their hospitalization. And once an elderly person has been hospitalized and has been in bed and not mobilized for a long period of time, they become very deconditioned, which increases their risk for falls and decreases their functional abilities and their independence. So those people, instead of being discharged to long-term care facilities because they've become more dependent, come to Toronto Rehab, to the geriatric rehab service, where they're assessed and they're treated by a multidisciplinary team with a physician who's an expert in the care of the elderly. And over a period of approximately 1 month, they develop and acquire the strengths and the skills to retain their independence, to regain their independence, and to be able to go back home as opposed to going into a long-term care facility.
Toronto Rehab is home to the IDAPT Center for Rehabilitation Research. With a multi-million-dollar budget and a team of highly motivated researchers, the IDAPT Center is cutting-edge technology.
The IDAPT Center the research program is mostly centered in the University Center of Toronto Rehabilitation Institute. Toronto Rehabilitation Institute has several sites, but this is the headquarters. It's at University in Elm, right next to Mount Sinai, right opposite Sick Kids. The laboratories are at the very top of the building on the 11th, 12th and 13th floor, and the ones that you're in here are deep underground. And there are patient floors mostly between the two. The total research space here is about 65,000 square feet. In this room here, you're about 50 feet below street level. The device behind you, to give an idea of scale, takes laboratories which are 6-meter cubes, weigh about 13 tons, up to 13 tons, and can throw them around in this room and get to within about 4 inches of the wall. So it uses this space fully. This is the only facility of its kind in the world. There's nothing else that comes close to this. In terms of the growth of research here, over the last 7 or 8 years, we have grown very rapidly. We are now probably the biggest research group in rehabilitation in the world. Chicago and us sort of vie for that title. But we're certainly the best equipped and the most advanced facility anywhere in the world by a long way. Falling is the scourge of growing older, and what happens is we do trip and we do slip more, but we're not as good at recovering from it. We're not as good at taking a step. We're not as good at reaching fast enough and stuff. So we study that with a huge platform where we can be doing things and then suddenly the platform will move in a way. And that's allowed us to develop new methods of treatment, but also new devices and standards and stuff. Downstairs here, what I'm standing in front of is a motion base. It's kind of like a big aircraft simulator. The whole platform behind me can rise up and can move around and twist and turn in every way. And we can put different laboratories on top of that. So we have 3 other simulators and we're building a 4th. One of them, while we're talking about winter, is winter. It has real ice in it. You can set the temperature of the ice from wet, slippery ice to cold, sticky ice. You can put snow in there. You can put cold winds. You can go down to minus 15 degrees centigrade. And we can test that. So we're doing a lot of work on better footwear, maybe to stop people falling over as much, which is a big problem, and breaking their hips and stuff. So, and better wheelchairs, better scooters that'll drive through winter conditions. We can raise that and we can lift it with a crane on top of this thing behind me, and we can create a windy, snowy hill, for example. Another thing we can do is we can put a laboratory on top, which is actually the one that's on there now, called Stair Lab. We're interested in stairs because stairs kill and seriously injure maybe 3 times as many people as motor vehicle accidents. And there's something we can do about making stairs better in the building codes. And there's a lot of other things that we want to do to help people go up and down stairs safely. So again, we can put stairs in there and we can cause people to fall off the stairs in a controlled way. We also have something called Street Lab, which deals not just with the physical problems, but, you know, when you're in an environment where there's lots of stuff coming at you, sound and vision and things going on, sometimes it gets a bit much to be able to cope with all those signals simultaneously. If you've had a stroke or a head injury or you're getting a bit older. So we're studying hearing aids that have better directional qualities and various other things to make it safer to manage in a complex environment. That too can go on this platform, so you can walk through Toronto, you can walk up and down hills and valleys, you can encounter pedestrians and traffic in that environment. Let me tell you a general objective that I have, which is a bit more than all these individual inventions and all these individual improvements. The general objective, the reason why we built this place, of course the first reason, the reason we use in the grant applications, is we need the devices, we need the tools to get the answers and to develop the things we want to develop. But there's actually another purpose. And the other purpose is as exciting, and that is that a few years ago, if you talk to a young student going through university about a future career in research, they would never think of going into rehabilitation. It was boring. I mean, would you study someone lifting weights and measuring the angles of their arms and the circumference of their muscles? And, I mean, they'd rather go into stem cell research or do something really at the cutting edge. Now students and faculty are seeing the kind of environment that we have here, the kind of high-tech environment, and they're saying, wow, not only is there exciting science to be done there, but you can also see it happening. You can see its effect on people, so you get highly motivated students. We have some 200 graduate students involved here doing their masters and their PhDs, mostly their PhDs. And for old fogies like me can only produce a certain amount. The really exciting future is what these 200 and all their other generations of the really brightest students are going to produce.
Home Lab is basically a working apartment inside the hospital. We have a kitchen with all sorts of appliances and plumbing and everything else, as well as a dining area, a sitting room, living area, and also a working washroom and bedroom. The idea behind Home Lab is it gives us as researchers a space to develop different technologies and interventions, and we get to try them out in a working home environment before we go and take them to people in the community to see what they think of them. So not only as researchers can we try out new and upcoming technologies, but we can also get people from the community and from the hospital to come into this space and test out different things that we're developing here at TRI. We do work with older adults with dementia, kids with autism, and people also with other sort of physical disabilities as well. One of the devices we're working on is a fall detection system that's hands-free. The idea here is it's to help older adults who want to stay at home safely. And the idea is there's this white device here that you'd mount on your ceiling. Using computer vision and artificial intelligence, it can tell when there's been a fall, and then it can ask you what kind of help you want. This is Amaya, who's a researcher with us, and she's going to simulate a fall so that we can see how fall detection works.
Hello, Mr. Smith. This is your automated health monitoring system. Do you need help? Please say yes or no.
Yes.
Would you like me to call an ambulance? Please say yes or no.
Yes.
Would you like me to call someone else to help you? Please say yes or no.
Yes.
I can connect you to a live operator if you would like. Please say yes to be connected, or say no to exit the system.
Yes.
I am connecting you to a live operator now.
And then it places a call to an operator to get someone to help her. So in this way, Amaya is able to decide what happens to her health, and she's in control of the decision-making process over what kind of response she needs. So this is just one of the technologies we're developing here in Home Lab.
Located on Bathurst Street between Lawrence Avenue West and Highway 401, Baycrest is an academic health sciences center. It includes a hospital, a world-class brain research institute, a long-term care facility, and many outpatient programs. Rehabilitation plays a large part in the work they do.
Baycrest is a center of excellence in aging and brain health. We have a comprehensive array of services that include inpatient services. It includes a world-renowned research institute that includes